Okay, no, you're good now.
What?
You just
All right,
froze whenever you said anything.
All right.
But you looked better. Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reactions. It's Corbin.
I'm Rick.
And you can follow us on Instagram and Twitch. How for more juicy content.
It's so juicy.
Thank you also on Patreon. Follow our official Twitter account. Link below for the notification squad. Bang! Hi, welcome to 2.0. Today we are reviewing. It dropped at midnight our time. I think most of India has probably seen it already if they've watched it. If you're in America, you watched it today. But we are reviewing Extraction, which is on Netflix. So this is going to be a spoiler review because you just go watch it. You don't even have to pay for it. So just go watch it, idiot.
Yep.
But yeah, so we were watching Extraction with Chris Hemsworth, the Thor, which is all I saw the entire time. Directed by Sam Hargrave, which I believe he was one of the stunt directors of Avengers and a bunch of those comic book movies. So that makes sense.
That's correct.
And then written by one of the Russo brothers, and then obviously starring as well. Well, Tripathy, of course. He had so much screen time.
So much screen time. Oh, I mean, just it almost felt like the movie was about him, didn't it?
Technically it was, but they did seriously underutilized that talent.
They showed in the trailer, they showed you everything he is in the film.
Sad. But there was another Indian actor who we've seen before, but Randeep Hooda.
Yeah.
Who played, who actually was basically the supporting star of the film.
Right.
Which was cool. And then also a bunch of cameos. But initial thoughts, Rick?
Initial thoughts are, the only thing I have to say that is just absolutely fantastic, off the charts, jump up and down. It's worth watching just for this. Some of the best freaking stunt work you're going to see on film, with some cinematography stuff that's a lot of fun in one particular long sequence midway.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I think that makes sense, though, because the director is a stunt person. And so obviously that's kind of going to be what he kind of focuses on.
Right.
I don't know. I wasn't expecting very much from it, so I think I enjoyed it more. I 100%. But I felt the exact same way I feel about John Wick, about this film.
Oh no, I felt like this was a notch above war for me.
John Wick has no acting in it at all, and great stunt work and just shooting people and killing people. And that's what I got from this. And so I went in with those expectations. That's exactly what I got. And so I didn't think there was anything extraordinary in terms of Chris Hemsworth acting, but I've never thought Chris Hemsworth was a great actor. I thought he was really good at being Thor. And he's
good if you give him something to work with. Thor Ragnarok is a great example of that. Yeah. And he's done some other stuff that he's been some fun in. I mean, he's definitely not in the realms of people you think of as a thespian by any stretch.
No, but like I said, I wasn't expecting any of that.
Right. No, neither was I. I was expecting action, but
and
there was so much.
There was a ton of action and great stunt work and a bunch of fun sequences when he was rescuing the guy in the place where he was just smashing people's heads in, which was really fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed the stunt work. A lot of it did remind me of some of the action sequences in John Wick. I didn't think they were as good as John Wick. I thought that one action sequence with the car chase was spectacularly well done. Just the cinematography was, from going in the car and out of the car. I mean, that's a fun thing to just break down in a cinematography class and stunt work thing, and just break down just this 10 minutes of just beautiful stunt work and cinematography, but everything else for this. And again, I wasn't going in expecting this to be some independent film grounded anything, but there's so much that strained credulity, and I got weary of this was like watching even the cinematography and the character development. I mean, all of it in and of itself, it reminded me a lot of Call of Duty. I felt like I was watching Call of Duty. I was watching somebody play Call of Duty.
Well, that's
how well formed I thought the characters and the dialogue were.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I expected from this. And that's exactly what I also get from John Wick. I don't watch John Wick for any acting because I think, you know what I think of Keanu Reeves. I think he's one of these shittiest actors, one of the most amazing people, but one of these shittiest actors we have in Hollywood. But those films are enjoyable just because I get to see him kill hundreds of people in the most ridiculous ways. And I think we got a lot of that from that. Like I said, I'm not saying there was great writing or there was great character development or anything like that. But going in expecting it to just be an action film that I could be like, oh yeah, and I thought it was funny when one person got hit with a car and they basically did a superhero dive into the wall and then they got up right away and then hit the other person with a car. You know, they should have been dead multiple times. So it was essentially like a superhero movie. It's essentially what it was. Thor, if he was a military man.
Right, but even in that regard, there was just so much about it that it was as believable as watching somebody play Call of Duty. Like I didn't believe, and again, yeah, I felt like it wanted to take itself more seriously. It didn't make a choice. I think had it chosen to go more on the side of like, I didn't care about the characters, and I feel like they tried to make us care when they told us his 6-year-old died of lymphoma, and that was the flashback he was continuing to have with his kid, and that I called it when it happened. When he got shot in the neck, my first thought was, dude, why are you still standing and walking around? That shot from an AK-47 into your neck would shatter your spine and or rip your jugular apart. So please die. And then when he started to fall back, I called it before he did it. When he walked to the edge, I wrote it down. I wrote, he's going to join his son in the water. I get it. And he'll finally be where he was and who he thinks about when he's meditating under the water. Great. Send him into the water. But then at the very end, come on.
Oh,
he got his regeneration. He's back to fight some more in the next level.
Gotta love it.
Oh.
No, like I
so
said,
you liked it?
I liked it for what I thought it was going to be. And that's
so you give it a thumbs up.
I would say if you want to watch some action and some people shoot each other, this is good for a one-time watch.
I would agree with you for the stunt work and the action. Yes.
But that's all I went into it thinking. This is why I wanted to watch it. I was like, this is going to have some fun stunt work. I'm going to get to watch people kill each other. And then also some Indian actors that I like are in this, and I'm glad people are going to get to see them. Obviously, they didn't get to see much of Tripathi. I thought Randeep did well with what he had in terms of the writing. Obviously, the writing wasn't top-notch.
I was... From the trailer, I will say it was really nice to know I'm watching a Chris Hemsworth film on Netflix that everybody's going to be watching that's centered in and around, granted, it's Bangladesh, but we're talking, it was beautiful, man. We're listening to Hindi and Bengali on screen.
Yeah. Did you notice we've reacted to many songs that when they went into each room,
through the rooms.
Even Gully Boy was in there, which is cool.
Yeah. I loved that. I loved seeing the streets. It reminded me so much of places in India. But I felt like from the trailer, I was holding out some hope that it was going to be more. So, for example, that's what makes the Marvel films so good is that you get the action, but you also get real characters and story. This had nothing of the real characters and story. It just had all of the action.
I think you had way more expectations for it than I did. It's a Chris Hemsworth film, so I didn't expect any of that. Because I don't think too much of him. I think he's a good Thor, and I think that's about it. And that's my opinion of Chris Hemsworth as an actor. But that's most of the people in the Marvel universe, honestly, for me. Outside of Robert Downey, there's not a lot of people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that there's Paul Bettany, but nobody. He's not really one of the main ones.
There's Samuel L. Jackson. There's quite a few people in there that can.
Oh, hold on, you just said Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson. That's why we love Samuel L. Jackson, not because of his thespianatic abilities. You go to watch Samuel L. Jackson to watch Samuel L. Jackson.
That's true. Yeah.
So like I said, it's not any rip on them. It's just that in terms of I don't go into it thinking I'm gonna watch some really amazing work. I'm like, okay, they'll probably do fine. That was my expectation the whole time. I was like, he'll probably do fine. But I knew he wasn't gonna bring anything that I was gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah, and I was bothered by the fact that we got Tipothy for all of 4 minutes.
Yeah, that was a disappointment. I was really hoping he was going to be like the big villain that was going to be in there, and technically he was, but they used him for one scene. I think they just got a bunch of people that they've worked with before in like Sacred Games and obviously the Russo brothers, the people that they've worked with, the stunt people before, and so it was one of those things. I thought it was. Here's my synopsis of it. I think it's fine for a one-time watch if you just want to watch a action film, because obviously you don't have to pay for it unless you don't have Netflix already.
Yeah.
Since it's free, I'm like, whatever, man. I wasn't expecting too much.
Yeah, the action, that 10 to 15 minute action sequence that is the car chase followed by the fight scene with the two main guys is worth the price of admission. That is worth watching this for.
And then when he killed all those people getting the boy, I loved that sequence. I thought it was because he just kept smashing people's heads.
That first fight sequence.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. And there was cricket on the TV in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, that's why I was like, I enjoyed it. It was fine. I'm never gonna watch it again, but
I'll watch those two stunt sequences again just to marvel at the greatness of stunt people.
But if anybody is not Indian here and wants to watch those Indian actors, they do a lot of great work. Randeep Huda and Tripathy, who you saw for a little bit, he was the drug lord dad. He's phenomenal.
Anybody here who's not aware of what's going on in India cinema and television, and you watched Extraction on Netflix, you're on Netflix, type in the words Sacred Games and do yourself a favor and just allow yourself to read subtitles. If you've seen Parasite, you know you can do it. It will be worth the journey for you to watch some really spectacular directing and acting and writing in that series, Sacred Games.
I also did enjoy that they kept a lot of the dialogue for the Indians in Hindi.
Yeah, I did too. For the most part, I felt like they really represented
except for
what we know.
The yellowing of the... I understand they did it for like cinematic feel, but like the yellow feel of it, I'm like, India doesn't really feel like a desert, especially where they were.
No, and again, what they were trying to convey with some more of oppressive overtones per se. And again, we were in Bangladesh. We were in the capital of Bangladesh, which we used to be India. We've got a whole other different partition time and place that happened, but it's still like Pakistan. There's still so much genetic and cultural encoding that it reminded me so much, having never been to, the closest I've been to Bangladesh is West Bengal and Calcutta. But it just reminded me so much of different places we've seen in India with the people on the streets and the cars and the building.
I thought they did a good job with that. Like I said, if you want to watch a pretty mindless action film with just don't go in with any expectations except for some fun action, I think you can enjoy it on Netflix.
If you're like me, if you sometimes watch your son play PUBG or Call of Duty, you'll probably enjoy watching this for a little while.
Let us know what you thought of it down in the comments below.